Hello there, this is Gary from Avid Cyclist, avidcyclist.com. And today we are joined by Andrew Phillips, the cyclist lawyer. He's been on a couple times, and I want to talk to him a little bit about just what type of law, what a cyclist lawyer does. The, some of us have been in crashes. I've been in a crash. I've been hit before. And the last thing you want to do, a wise man once told me, is enter into any legal process whatsoever, and this would be included, without representation. And Andrew is here to just talk to us a little bit about, like I said, what he does, what kind of coverages apply, and what you should know the moment you deal with any kind of an incident like this. So, Andrew, good morning. How you doing? And welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, Gary. Good to see you again. I think we got some good things that we should talk about today, so this is gonna be good conversation.
So, hypothetical: person gets hit by a car, or there's a small collision. Let's just keep it small, not major injuries, whatever. But there are injuries. You're not going to get hit by a car and walk away without an injury of what type. So, what's the first thing that happens, Andrew?
Well, if you're ever in a tangle with a vehicle, you got to call the police, get it documented, right? So the police are going to come and start documenting. But even before then, if you're able to, you need to start taking photos of the scene, photos of the vehicle, photos of the driver. Things just get moved very quickly, and as much as you can gather evidence is a good thing to do if you're able to. If you're down on the ground and nausea or vertigo going on or head injury, certainly don't be moving. Have somebody else do that for you. If a buddy's riding with you or a bystander is able to do that, give them your phone, let them take the pictures that are necessary. But document, call the police. That's very important.
Okay, and then the next thing. What happens next? What should you expect?
Well, very likely they're going to send some emergency EMT kind of people, paramedics. If you have any injury that is requiring it, take the ride. Don't be concerned about the cost. That'll get taken care of down the road. A lot of times people are like, they're afraid to take that ambulance ride because they think it's going to be so expensive. But really, it's usually under $2,000, and your health insurance will cover most of it, and your auto insurance might cover the rest, and certainly their auto insurance will cover it. So if you need the ambulance ride, don't be hesitant. Take that ride, get to the ER, get looked at. A subdermal hematoma on your brain can really turn to something super serious if not addressed quickly. So, if you hit your head, which you often will in these situations, you need to get looked at. They need to get that CT scan and make sure that everything's okay.
Awesome. And then where does a cyclist lawyer come into play? What is the benefit for me to have an attorney?
Yeah. So pretty quickly, you're going to be thrown into this world, this legal world that you never wanted to be a part of. And there's going to be all these rules that apply to how insurance works, how the courts work, what's your role in that, what can you do? And that's where I come in. I can help navigate all of that so you can get towards recovery as quickly as possible. It's a long road, it's a bumpy road sometimes, but having a guide along that road can certainly help a lot. Most of us would not go on a big bike ride without some idea where it is we want to go, some sort of map. And it's the same thing. You've been thrown into the middle of this grand adventure that you never wanted to be on, and having a map to get through it will be the key to not bonking along the way, right? Getting through it, making sure that you have all the resources you need so that you're taken care of. That's what I do, and that's my specialty.
And I'm sure it's pretty simple and helpful. I'm sure it's very helpful to have you with a basic, what I would say is a simple accident where the driver made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake, admitted he made a mistake, and hit you. And he's happy you're alive. He is a cyclist that you're alive, and insurances are going to be taken care of. But what happens when you get into that? You know what? This guy cut me off. It was his fault. What the motorist is saying, and all of a sudden it's a he said, she said, and blaming the cyclist. What happens there?
Well, even to your first scenario though, Gary, where the driver might completely say, "This is my fault. I'm sorry." That driver does not make decisions down the road about what their insurance pays for, and so the driver might be totally, upset and sad and contrite, but their insurance company does not have to take that into account as they start deciding what they're going to pay for. So even in those situations, I think it's important to have counsel to help you through that process. And then in the more extreme situations, say the driver is trying to blame you and saying, "Well, you cut me off," or "I had the right of way," or anything like that. All the more important that we do as much investigation as early on in the case, gathering witness information, looking at any video that might be available from businesses or Ring doorbells or intersection cameras, lots of different ways to gather that evidence and do it quickly before it gets recorded over, memories fade, whatever it may be. Let's get that information as quickly as we can. And so calling somebody like myself can help that process very, very quick.
Sure. And if somebody starts, for instance, I've seen this happen where people start posting what happened and try to get ahead of a story on social media or some other platform. Is it a good idea to document that, take pictures of it, screenshots of somebody else's posts?
You're talking about like the driver posting something like that?
You're
Yeah.
right.
Normally I tell my clients to not post a lot on
Not
social media.
post.
Keep it quiet for a minute. Let's gather this stuff.
Right.
But the driver's putting stuff on there, yes. Start gathering those screenshots of that. We may be able to use some of that against them down the road.
Well, that was the case when I had my crash. The
Yeah.
guy just couldn't help himself, and for months he kept posting.
Yeah, and generally I advise my clients to not engage in that
Oh,
conversation.
I never engaged.
Yeah.
I was radio silent. I just watched, and people sent screenshots, but it actually ended up benefiting my case very, very well because he hung himself.
Can. Yeah, because they will dig their own grave sometimes that way.
Oh, they did. He changed his lies, which was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
No, in this case, but it's always good. Like I said, one of the things that everybody told me was to shut up, watch, record, and just shut up, which is hard for me to do sometimes.
It can be hard.
So, what do you handle all types of cycling cases, or?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that a cyclist can get injured by the negligence of somebody else. Most often vehicles, but it can also be things like a dog off leash, or even another cyclist. Especially with e-bikes, we're seeing that more and more, or scooters, those e-scooters. Those can be super dangerous because they have a lot of mass behind them. They don't have to be traveling very fast to cause a lot of damage to you. And so I've handled those cases as well, against dog owners who let their dogs run wild on trails. That can be super dangerous, especially in an area where you're not expecting off-leash dogs, and most trails are not off-leash. So if something like that happens, we can help navigate that as well.
Okay. So as far as insurance, one of the things that I learned about with insurance, insurance, we have medical coverage, and I have auto insurance, obviously. But what I didn't realize was part of my auto insurance actually covered my bike crash.
Right.
And because he didn't have enough insurance to cover all the medical bills and everything that went with it, mine kicked in, which was, I think they called it underinsured motorists. And it was something that I was not even familiar with. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that uninsured motorist, or underinsured motorist, UIM is how it's abbreviated sometimes. That's insurance that you cover on your own auto policy. And it actually follows you as a cyclist, as a passenger, or as a pedestrian. If you're injured to the negligence of a driver, then your auto insurance may be able to kick in and pick up anything that their insurance didn't cover. It's an add-on, but it's a mandatory add-on in Colorado. It should match your liability limits, and you can waive it. There is a way to not have it, and it'll reduce your bill just by a couple bucks every year. It's not worth waiving, in my opinion. You should definitely carry it. And you should try to carry it as a cyclist. You should try and carry at least $100,000 in uninsured motorist coverage. Because if you end up with a broken leg and a surgery, it's going to cost that much, and we want to make sure that everything gets covered. And the other driver, they only have to carry minimum, and some don't even carry that. The minimum in Colorado is just $25,000. And then there's another insurance called medical payment coverage. And medical payment coverage is kind of magical insurance because it'll pay right now any medical bills that your health insurance isn't covering. So if you have like a copay or deductible, your MedPay can kick in and cover that for you. There are some hoops you have to jump through. There's a little bit of a legalese that's involved in that. So it's helpful to have an attorney, again, to help guide you through that process and make sure it happens correctly, because it can get off the rails, and we want to make sure it doesn't.
And Andrew, you are hardly the new kid on the block in this business, especially in the Colorado area. So a little bit about your background.
Sure.
You're a cyclist, because not only are you a cyclist lawyer, you are a cyclist.
I am a cyclist.
You really do understand, you understand from our point of view.
Yeah. I typically rack up about 6,000 miles a year. I practice here in Golden, and the main reason is because Lookout's out my door here in the office. And so I try to get up at Lookout as much as I can. I really love the lifestyle, the health benefits, all of it.
And I'll vouch for the Lookout thing. And he does this year round, trust me, in the winter.
That's right. In fact, we have a Lookout week coming up soon. I might put a little plug in for that. That's coming up June 23rd through the 27th. It's that whole week. We put this on 6 a.m. every morning at the Pillars. Come and join us. It's a lot of fun. We get the road pretty much to ourselves, and it's a great time. So I've been practicing for 17 years. I used to practice at one of those big billboard law firms you see, is what I like to call it, and handling thousands of motor vehicle crashes every year. But then more and more, I realized that really my passion is in cycling. I commuted to work, rain or shine, for years, and by bike. So I love this lifestyle. It's important to me that we hold people accountable so that they act responsible, so that the community can change. We need a change in Colorado where we respect cyclists and we don't kill them, we don't hit them. That all starts with holding people responsible. On my side, I can hold them responsible civilly. That means financially. There's also the criminal side, which we try to advocate for and participate where we can to make sure that the laws are written in a way that they're held responsible criminally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are your on criminal law right now? As far as that part, what are some of your hot spots right now? Where do you think the law needs to be changed the most?
Well, you and I both have been involved in this Senate Bill 281. It got watered down. It's pretty frustrating to watch that process, but hopefully they renew it next year. And what it would have done is, if you killed a cyclist, it would have been a felony rather than a misdemeanor. Right now, if you kill a cyclist on the road with your car, it's a Class 6 misdemeanor, and it really should be a Class 1 felony. It's kind of ridiculous that it's not. And so we just hope that that the legislatures will bring that back up again, and we'll lend our support where we can to make that happen.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That is the only crime in Colorado that you can kill somebody and it's not a felony.
Yeah. Any other way that you kill somebody in Colorado, it's going to be a felony. But kill them with a car, it's a misdemeanor, which means very little punishment. It's literally a slap on the wrist. It's a fine. No jail time, no prison time, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a felony, even if an F1 minor felony, I guess is what they call it, the prison time is very minimal even with that. So one step at a time, we're trying to hold people responsible.
Got it. So what's anything coming up on the horizon? Any events that you're going to be part of that we can find you? Now, you and I have shared space at expos and things and races and rides. What's coming up for you?
Boy, I've got a bunch of stuff, but I think the next one, if I remember right, is Dirty Dino, possibly out in Utah. That looks like a really fun ride. It's a gravel ride in Vernal, Utah. But I could have swore that there was one before that too. I'm not totally sure. I'll have to look at my schedule real quick. Let's see here if I can pull this up. So we got Dirty Dino, Vernal, and then what else do we got?
I'm going to put you on the spot. So you don't have anything going on May 31, right?
That's Sunrise to Sunset. I think you and I are going to be
doing Sunrise to Sunset
racing. But down before that is Mad Gravel.
12 hours of mountain biking.
Yeah.
It's a 4-man relay.
Yeah. I think, are we going to ride that together? We're going to do this thing?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely doing it.
I love it. I'm in. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You heard it here. You heard it on the network, on the Avid Cyclist channel.
I think the week before is Mad Gravel.
And a lawyer said it under oath. He is in. He's going to be there. So come join us on the 31st. We'll have our tent set up there. And that's going to be with Rattler Racing, but that's going to be a lot of fun. I believe it's a 7-mile loop on the Ridgeline Trail up by the Mac.
How many loops do you do before you hand off? Is it just one loop and then you hand off?
You can do as many as you want, but it's pretty taxing. And so you're handing off. Pardon?
You'll do 2 and then I'll do 1.
Yeah, good try. I'm hoping. I was going to see if somebody can meet me halfway. No, just kidding. So some people, it's basically it's 4-man teamed, a few different divisions, and it's a lot of fun and if you just want to watch something fun, if you guys are out there, anybody listening to this, it is a blast. They've got food trucks, they've got live bands during the day. It's literally like a festival. And then watching these guys do their exchanges in the mountain bike relay going on the whole day for 12 hours. It is a blast. It is a lot of fun. Even if you want to just come by, get some sun, chill, have there's going to be a beer tent, I believe. They've got a lot of refreshments, food stands, everything. It's a good time. I'm in Castle Rock up at the
I'm
Mac.
looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
It's going to be blessed. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Love doing the cycling brief, as we call it.
Yeah.
You always have some fun energy and a lot of fun. You're one of the few guys I can say you do bring a lot of fun energy into the legal process.
I enjoy what I do. I'm lucky to be where I am.
That's what's cool is you help a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you're not out there. You do not uphold the reputation of lawyers. I say it that way, but
well, I appreciate that. That's how
you do not help uphold that reputation. So that's really cool.
Okay.
But it's been a pleasure, man. It's great knowing you. It's great riding with you, and I look forward to it. Look forward to riding with you at the Sunrise to Sunset. And you have a great afternoon and a great week, Andrew. Ride on, buddy.
Thank you much. Take care.